You know, content creation is an art form just like any other. It requires a certain amount of attention, discipline, focus, and effort. Whatever that amount may be is subjective. You know, you could spend days endlessly slaving over a video, just meticulously crafting it to be as close to perfect as you can possibly make it, and you could get a small but rewarding amount of views and reception. Or, on the other hand, you could film yourself fucking around with a fidget spinner and get millions of views to get that sweet YouTube Jesus fucking Christ, you gotta be kidding me, right? However the creator chooses to make their product, they're still putting a small part of themselves into their work. Whether it may be a certain emotion that they're trying to convey, to talking to a camera as a nuanced form of catharsis.
Welcome in. Much love.
To teaching others a certain skill or trick for others to learn, to whatever this is. It requires that we as entertainers provide you all with a part of ourselves, no matter how small. One of the side effects to come from that is what is known as burnout. Whether it may be repeating the same material over and over and over again, or talking about the same subjects ad nauseum, or just feeling a disconnect with either your product or subsequently your audience, we as content creators can become apathetic to what it is that we're doing. Now, that's not to say that I myself have become completely bored with what I do. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The more that I experiment with editing techniques, video structures and styles to even genres, an enthusiasm does grow along with that. My problem, however, is with Magic the Gathering. Now, I'm not tired of the game per se. It's that the content that I make about this specific genre has a very finite pool of, well, ideas to pull from. There's just so many other channels out there that do a much better job of what I'm already doing, and even though I can make small aesthetic innovations or try to make something unique and original on my own, I am neither an authority on the matter nor do I have any sort of actual clout within the Magic the Gathering community itself. The oversaturation of Magic content creation is real, and to see that there are literally dozens of people just like me who are about the same audience level as myself is a motivation killer, to be honest. My original intent with this channel was to make Magic content that was somewhat focused on the more abstract and comedic side. While I was able to achieve that vision with a select few videos, the majority of my content, I feel, is just the same cookie cutter bullshit that you can find on any other generic Magic channel that's just spread all over YouTube like some sort of all-hungry entity. In an article written by Magic's head designer Mark Rosewater titled Metamorphosis, he writes a quote in the beginning that just resonated with me a lot, to be honest. It said, "We don't fight change, but rather allow it to be a tool that lets the game constantly reinvent itself. We use this as an opportunity to keep making Magic better and better." You can somewhat apply this same logic to my content by the fact that I've been constantly experimenting with filming setups, video formats, content focus shifts, and other similar things. I'm not one to settle for just one specific avenue of video creation. Whether it be Desolator Magic, who likes to specifically record audio over a fucking boring screen, or even more boring gameplay, to the Manosaurus, who just repeatedly makes the same dreadfully dull slideshows just over and over again, to MTG Lion, who Jesus, don't even get me fucking started on that guy. You're like, Jesus fucking... Wait, where the fuck was I going with this?
You are putting yourself up on a higher pedestal than your peers because you think that making your videos look nicer both makes you a better person and makes you feel better about yourself, you pathetic fuck.
Are you done?
Are you done?
Alright. Well... Anyways, the point at where I'm trying to get at is that even though while I was attempting to keep my videos fresh, exciting, and fun to me as a creator, I found that the issues weren't so much with myself as it was more with the general subject of Magic. Now that I've figured out the root of the issue, there's three potential choices that I myself have thought of as solutions for this. A, I could stop making Magic content altogether, potentially running the risk of alienating my audience away from the channel. B, continue to focus on Magic content and slowly work myself to complete and total boredom, leaving only the want to end my life with a sledgehammer. Or Or C, I could split my efforts by making whatever type of video I felt like making at the time, thereby reducing stress from focusing on just strictly magic content, yet also running the risk of diluting the focus of my content. This also leaves the option of having a second channel dedicated to just specifically magic content. As promising as the first two options look, I really don't feel like having to start over from scratch with my audience, or, having to explain to my friend that I'm only borrowing their sledgehammer to take care of a head-shaped rat problem that I have hiding in my basement. Yeah, rat problem. That should work, right?
Jesus!
So, if I'm taking away the focus of magic-related content in favor of other subjects, what does that mean exactly?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
It might be that I'm just going to make a Commander deck tech here and there on a second channel, or maybe even some sort of supercut or shitpost edit of someone in the Magic community. You all seem to like those, and the edits are usually my most well-received type of video that I've made up to this point. And the reason why I'm going to stray away from making things like deck techs and commentaries about the news of the game is just simply that the subjects themselves aren't evergreen. What I mean by evergreen is that if you go back at least 3 to 4 months worth of my videos, you'll notice that I've made quite a few standard deck techs. While at the time I was happy with them and how they both looked and performed in their respective metagames, the lists themselves just hardly ever remained irrelevant for more than a couple months at a time. Standard is an ever-changing format, and much like Modern, Pauper, and Legacy, they never stay the same. The meta, much like us, evolves over time. Not only is it exhausting to try and come up with original brews for a specific format at a specific time, and to try and record and edit the video in a timely manner, but the work itself just fades out of relevancy within the blink of an eye. That's not what I ultimately want for this channel. I want this to be a representation of who I am and what I love to do. And while I do love playing Magic the Gathering, there's just plenty of other things that I am very interested in. When I first considered making a dedicated YouTube channel about 5 years ago, I had so many ideas of what I wanted to do, but I just simply didn't have a direction. MTG gave me that and provided a foundation for which I could build and maintain my video making skills with. I want my videos to have longevity. When I look through my older library of videos, I can't help but to be disappointed because I know that a large amount of them just simply aren't relevant anymore. The source of entertainment in them virtually expired within weeks, and there's almost no reason to revisit any of them. I'd much rather have a repertoire of content that you, the viewer, are able to watch and enjoy whatever I make, regardless of when you watch them. And the same is even more so true for providing commentary about the happenings of the MTG community. Take for example the Amonkhet bannings. On the day of the announcement, people like myself were just livid about Felidar Guardian not being banned, yet within a few days, they retracted the choice and decided to emergency ban the card. Not only was it sloppy on their end, it was kind of a proverbial kick to the nards for us content creators. Because those of us that held an interest in keeping our audiences up to date with the news, we needed to readjust for this drastic and unprecedented move from a company that doesn't even seem like they know what the fuck they're even doing anymore.
Where is my super
See that? That wasn't just clickbait in the title. I am moving on. Well, quite literally, actually. As I type this script and edit the video, my family and I are undergoing a drastic change in our lives, as we are currently moving to another house. As a result, I was becoming nervous with how I wanted to approach content creation within these next few weeks. Should I continue to plod along with content that bores me, in tandem with having to deal with the stress that moving brings along? Or maybe I should focus my efforts elsewhere and focus on the priorities at hand. And lastly, what are those priorities? Well, aside from the need to focus on moving, the main priority is that I've wanted to achieve, yet never really attained, was to make a video that I was actually proud of making. Due to quantity over quality, I sacrificed what was most important to me, and that was to make enjoyable videos. I love editing, and by extension filmmaking, and it's a hobby that I want to tune and hopefully become adept at. I want to be proud of whatever it is that I create, and sadly, makeshift deck techs that become unimportant within hours is simply not where I want to be. Now, this is not to say that I'm forsaking Magic altogether though. It would just be plain rude of me to leave you all in the dust, especially since I know for a fact that there's a good number of you who do in fact look forward to specific videos that I make. And for those that are disheartened by this news, I apologize, but you also need to realize that I am a person with my own thoughts and feelings, and I don't want to drive myself to the brink of insanity just to appease those who look forward to me bitching about pieces of cardboard. So with all of this talk about wanting to change the direction of my videos, what is it exactly that I'm going to be changing around here? To be honest, I really don't know. I want to make whatever it is that I want to make a video on. Sometimes it might be a Commander deck tech, while other times it might be some form of shitposting, and while other times it might be essays and critiques about culture, games, movies, or any other forms of media. Hell, it might even be something along the lines of this. Because Lord knows if I keep making the same kind of repetitive magic content over and over again, the prospect of that sledgehammer just seems more and more delectable. Hopefully you'll stick around for whatever it is that I have in the future for you, because I myself am excited for the unknown. One of the few adages that I like to live by is the only constant in life is change, and I can't help but to think that this video exemplifies that statement. Nothing ever really stays the same. Look at the Manosaurus or MTG Lion, for example, and look at wait, bad example. Look at a channel like Alpha Investments. Yeah, it's just some crazy greased up spider monkey that yells in your face with his high-end cell phone camera, but look at his actual content. Not only is he talking about magic, but he discusses finer subjects and aspects that surround the culture that most other people just straight up ignore. In addition, he also showcases the process of opening up a game store, which in itself is wholly unique to the MTG video genre, and more. Also, he's insane and you should never leave any children or floppy tacos around him for any reason. For God's sakes, just don't do it. So that's pretty much the gist of it all. I'll probably delve deeper into why I'm so dissatisfied with Wizards of the Coast in the future. Probably be like a 45-minute video. Fuck, like, there's a lot of things that I have to say about them. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, let me know what I can improve on. I know that there were some audio issues, but that's because I had to record on the fly and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I'm Tasty Snackies. You all have been wonderful, and I'll catch you on the flip side.